Hello and welcome back to another episode of Heroes of the Storm. It is me, the Blind Ferret, and we're being joined by my buddy Meryl today. Yeah, going to play some Artanis today. I have my own personal build that I use for him. From what I can tell from watching other streamers and YouTubers, not many people go this build. And a lot of people complain that he's not tanky enough. And I don't have any issues with that at all. Not the best Artanis. Only played a few games with him so far. But, yeah. We'll try to show you guys what I mean by him not being tanky. He is super tanky. People just aren't building him right, in my opinion. Lots of people also complaining about his ults being lackluster. I don't agree. He does need some synergy with this team, which makes him very hard to solo queue with. But if you do get the synergy with your team, he is an amazing hero. Hopefully we'll get some synergy today and you guys can see what I mean. Alright, we have landed on Dragonshire today. Friendly team, Falstead, Leoric, Lieutenant Morales, Artanis, Zeratul. Enemy team, Artanis, Lieutenant Morales, Leoric, Tychus, Anubrek. Very similar teams. We do have a little bit more damage, whereas they have a little bit more tankiness. So, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, Wormhole. Wormhole's good here. At level 1, I normally go reactive parry when there's a lot of auto attackers, but they don't seem to have a lot of auto attackers here. So, I'm going to go Seasoned Marksman. I do believe these are the only two viable choices at level 1 for him. The other ones are really bad. For those of you who don't know, Artanis, he's kind of a unique hero. Only hero in the game that benefits from being below 50% HP. His shield, or his trait, gives him a shield. A pretty sizable shield too. That's on a 20-second cooldown when he reaches 50% HP. Now your auto attacks do lower the cooldown on this by I believe 4 seconds each. Yeah, 4 seconds each. You can talent to get that lower. Getting a little bit of lag here. Hopefully it clears up. Yeah. That's what makes him so tanky. It's very deceptible. He's very deceiving when it comes to how tanky he gets at low level. You really, when you play against an Artanis, you really need to pay attention to what talents he takes, because it really impacts how tanky he will be. For those of you who don't know, his Q just comes through. You can't control where it stops. It is called Blade Dash. Pretty much don't try to use this to gap close, because you're not going to be able to do it. It's pretty much just a harassment tool, a wave clear of sorts, because it does do triple the damage on its way back. You can do some cool plays, like if you're being chased down, you can like Q back into your base, and sometimes it will save your life, even though you will come back to your original spot. That's not always going to save you, but sometimes it will. One thing to note about his Q, if you are CC'd during it, it will interrupt it. You won't continue to go back to where you were, so don't try stuff like queuing over the wall to harass an enemy opponent, because if they have any sort of CC, you'll be stuck behind their wall. Just a little tidbit of information there. His W, Twin Blades, pretty much when you activate it, he's going to attack super fast twice in a row. Like this next attack that I do will hit for twice, as you can see right there. Making him, if you build him for auto attack damage, he can do a lot of damage. At this level, we are going to go Lethal Alacrity. Increases the speed and range of our Q. Very important. This allows you to pretty much end your Q faster and reduces the amount of time that you can get CC'd. Go ahead and pick up that regen globe. I'm not going to let you grab that. Just don't even try, buddy. Get a little bit of free harass on him there. Do some damage to him. And because of our trait, there's absolutely no way that he would win that duel against me. Huh. I did not know that. You cannot queue to grab a regen globe. He doesn't pick him up while he's dashing. Interesting. But your E, kind of a very hard move to land in my opinion because the missile speed on it is so slow and its range is so short. But what it does is it does a little bit of damage when it lands, and you're going to swap positions with them. Now you can't, the game will not allow you to do certain things like swap positions with somebody and put them in your base. You can't do it over walls. With that being said, you can go over enemy walls with it. I've seen that happen. So be cautious there. If you queue somebody and end up in their base, it's nobody's fault but your own. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. Yeah, he's not going to let me grab this. Oh. This is not good. Probably dead here. Oh, we made it. Oh. Go ahead and sippy. At level 7, we are going to be going... Oh, medic here. Sonic Synergy. Every single time we hit an enemy hero with our Q, it's going to lower the cooldown on our trait by a few seconds. You'll notice a lot with this build. Almost everything in it is pretty much for the sole reason of reducing your trait cooldown, making you very tanky late game. This is not an early game build though, so don't expect to be super tanky early game, because it won't happen. And pretty much we're just working on getting seasoned marksman stacks at this point. Not gonna let you have it, buddy. As you can see, we're free to trade with him. Even, man, he's got a lot of beetles. Nope. See, even though we were lower than him that entire fight, he's not able to grab it, and he's not able to beat us in the duel because of our trait. Pretty much, we just, because of the way that we're speccing, we keep getting our trait up over and over again, preventing him from being able to do much of anything when it comes to fighting us. We are kind of low here now, so we probably wouldn't win a fight right now. But, he excels at dueling people that are melee and don't have the sustain or the burst damage to take you on. Unfortunately, I do not have the HP to go in on him here. I wish I did. Friendly Marrow coming by, giving us a little bit of relief with that poke, getting him a little bit further down. And he is going to use his escape to get out of here. He does have pretty much no mana left, so I'm not really worried about him harassing anymore. At this level, with our team, I am going to go Purifier Beam, because they're not really that auto-attack heavy, their damage-wise, and I do believe it will synergize really well with the slow from Leoric's Q and the slow from Void Prism, or not Void Prism, but the bombs that Zeratul throws out. We got a lot of slows on our team, so I think it should be pretty easy to lock some people down and damage them with the Purifier Beam. This is a very passive game so far. Not much is happening. Kind of just trading and farming stacks. No Dragon Knight so far, 7 minutes in. That was a really risky move right there. If he had CC'd me with his Impale, I would have taken a ton of turret damage. I really probably shouldn't have done that. Oh no. Oh. Go ahead. Both of Artanis' moves are global range. So keep that in mind when your team is fighting and you're not able to get there. You can still help them out just by dropping ultimates. I did do that solely to help Meryl win that fight down there. And it did allow him to push the Leoric back. Get a little bit of harassing here on the bug. Hopefully we can get him kind of low, just in case our team manages to get both points. That way we'll be able to fight him back when it comes time, words, they're difficult, to grab the Dragon Knight. Unfortunately, he did go the heal from his beetles, so he is healing every single time those beetles attack something. So he's got a fair amount of sustain in this lane. One thing that you should try to do, if you're going to sit here and try to trade with a Artanis, try and make sure that you go in right after he's used his W, because that's where all of his damage comes from. This is a really boring game so far. I hope the other lanes are more interesting than this. Oh, man. Heal me, medic! At this level, we do go triple strike. This allows our W to hit 3 times, which is huge, because it pretty much makes it so that you get 3 auto attacks on the target, thus reducing the cooldown on your trait by a lot more. Wow, so many people in here. Go ahead and trade places with him. Put him in turret range. Go ahead and eat that so that our medic doesn't get swapped. And okay, that's a lot of damage. Just do that to try to avoid the beam a little bit. Our medic is in, so she's not going to be able to stay here and keep healing us. Enemy team doing the right thing, reacting very well to the Dragon Knight. Just because we grabbed both points, all 4 of them came mid to pretty much prevent us from doing a bunch of damage to him there. 3 auto attacks in a row is a ton of damage. But with them all coming mid like that, it pretty much made sure that I wasn't going to be able to grab the Dragon Knight. I feel like this game's going to be a very long game. I am very happy that I picked Seasoned Marksman, because I have this feeling that we're going to get a lot of stacks this game. Already up to 23 stacks. Okay, that's cute. Hopefully the medic will start using that on me or Falstad late game. I did miss that. And I did just body block our healer, unfortunately. Pretty much securing her death. He already used his dash, so he might actually be able to get a kill here with this. Oh, just barely now. That's unfortunate. We almost got it, though. Oh my goodness. So many beefy targets here. And with the helpful damage of our Mara, we did manage to take down... oh, gotta get out of that. Still dead. That was a really good Purifier Beam on the enemy team's part. At this level, we are going to go Shield Surge. This is a talent that most people don't take. Most people take Titan Killer or Zealot Charge. Shield Surge is huge. While the shields that you gain do diminish to the normal amount over time, over 3 seconds, it is huge in the fact that it prevents all burst damage pretty much coming in. 12-minute Dragon Knight. Going to be able to get a little bit of work done with it. Give us a nice XP lead. Do I think we'll get tons of work done with it? Probably not. Just because of how early in the game it is to get a Dragon Knight. Not as early as like a 7-minute one, but it's still going to be pretty weak at this point in the game. We should just rotate to another lane since they're fighting this one so hard. And I will head bottom to help out the Dragon Knight. Meryl doing the right thing, rotating bot. One thing to keep in mind about Artanis is you can have his W queued up and ready to go. Try to zone out their medic by dropping the Purifier Beam on her. You need to get out of there, buddy, or else you're going to die instantly. Nice jump. Oh, wow, that framed it. Oh, he Wraith walked at just the right time. Not going to be able to fight him because he does have the medic killing him. Now we can. A well-timed Q is going to secure his death. And we'll just start walking out here. Go ahead and proc our shields again. Unfortunately, he did burrow at just the right time, preventing that hinterland blast from killing him. Probably going to die here. Yeah, panicked a little bit there. I should have just hit the tower or hit Tychus with my W. Would have brought my shields back up. But as you can see, going that shield surge talent at level 16, definitely paying off there. Definitely keeping me alive. I would have died there a lot earlier, and I wouldn't have gotten the kill on Nubrek if he hadn't auto-attacked me. As soon as he auto-attacked me, he proc pretty much securing his death and allowing me to walk away. Unfortunately, Tychus did res and came back to finish me off, but that's alright. Got a lot of work done with that Dragon Knight. We did get a fort, we did get multiple kills. Definitely not a bad way to die. Not getting focused that much. It was a lot of this game was just, you know, sitting in the mid lane. So not as much damage tank so far because the Nubrek doesn't put out a ton of damage. Hopefully the medic will walk back there. No, they're trying to fight the whole team. Not a good idea. Definitely needs to leave. That was a very good sidestep from our friendly medic. At this level, we do go Force of Will. This increases the amount of cooldown reduction on our trait from every auto attack from 4 seconds to 6 seconds. What that means is pretty much every single time I W, my trait's going to be off cooldown. Go ahead and drop the beam on the enemy medic there. And my beam just got wasted. Go ahead and get in here and try to do some damage. This is not a good fight for us. One thing to note about Artanis, if you are going to fight, stay in the fight. Your sustain comes from fighting. So the longer you stay in the fight... Oh, that grenade. No. That grenade just saved him. Norik does not need the stim drum. Go ahead and keep wailing on people. It still doesn't benefit him as much as others. If he's going to sit here and tank it with the medic heal, might as well just go ahead and start beating on this. If you can run down there and grab that shrine, I will easily be able to run up here and grab the Dragon Knight. Almost there. You've got to be kidding me. I'm not going to be able to grab it. That was a very good Purifier Beam on the enemy team's part. Just stay in the fight as much as you can. Why did he entomb there? Not sure why. But that's okay. As long as you stay in the fight, very few things can kill you unless they have a ton of burst damage. Which rarely is the case. Most of the meta now is shifting to auto attackers, from what I've been able to tell at least. Gonna go ahead and push this lane out a little bit. Because why not? Gonna run back and grab the Dragon Knight. Should be able to get this uncontested. 3 of them are dead, and the other 2 are showing mid, so gonna go ahead and start going to push. That was a rude grenade. Oh, that pathing. Go ahead and punt him out of here and continue pushing. Not really scared of the medic's damage at this point. Medic's kind of not a problem. I'm gonna go ahead and walk back here and start wailing on people. Oh, the VP. Keep dropping the fire. For those of you who don't know, the Dragon Knight, even though you don't typically want to team fight with it, it does do a lot of damage late game per auto attack. Right in tune. Go ahead and switch places with the Artanis. Hopefully this will secure his death. And it does. Go ahead and walk it on out here. Start working on this. We do have our trade up, so we don't have to worry about dying right now. The medic is going to give us some free heals. Just going to go ahead and drop that just because. Probably not going to get much out of it. That's okay. Really just trying to zone him back. Just barely. One thing to note about this build is you can tank a core with no problems. Every single time you W, your trade's going to be back up, and the core cannot get through your shields in the amount of time it takes for your trait to come back up. Going to just keep wailing on the core. Eventually they'll respond to me, I think. Well, or they'll just throw the game. Yeah, they have no interest in stopping me, so we will finish the game here, guys. And that'll be GG. And that's Artanis, folks. Very fun champ to play. Very susceptible to being kited. So I do feel like it's very necessary to have these shield talents in play. Makes them very tanky, very hard to kill. You saw several fights there where I should have been dead multiple times. But just being able to walk out, or stay in the fight, rather, not walk out. You don't ever want to try to walk away in a major engage like that, because you will die. You can see here 78k damage tanked with only 2 deaths. That's a lot of damage to be taking. Pretty much it comes down to stay in the fight and you're going to survive. People saying that he's not tanky at all, this right here can show you that obviously they're just not building him right. Decent amount of siege damage that can be equated to the Dragon Knight probably, because I don't remember, well, Dragon Knight in the core. Hero damage, no reason to go damage talents with them, because as you can see right here, he already does the damage with all defensive talents. I really don't see any reason why you would ever go offensive talents with them. If you're severely lacking DPS and you have a bunch of warriors on your team, sure, go damage, but that's about the only case where you would ever go damage, in my opinion. And because we were soaking mid lane for so long, we did get tons of value out of the XP contribution and our Seasoned Marksman. One thing to note about Seasoned Marksman, because it does increase your auto attack damage, and your W is not based on a damage number, it's based on your auto attack damage. So the more Seasoned Marksman stacks you have, the higher damage you're going to get from your W strikes. But go over the talents once again. Seasoned Marksman at level 1 or Reactive Parry if they have like Jim Raynor, Sergeant Hammer, Nova. Any of those, Reactive Parry is very good here. One thing to note is it does only activate whenever you activate your W. So if you know you're about to take damage, activate your W. You don't even have to hit anything, just activate it so that you get the 2 stacks of block. Lethal Alacrity, pretty much just to reduce the chance that you're going to get CC'd while you're doing this. But really, there's not really any good talents at this level, in my opinion. If you're really good at landing your E, I do believe there's a 25% increase to attack speed here, which is kind of a big deal. But it's very hard to land that E, and it actually has to hit in order for you to get the damage increase or the attack speed increase. So don't try just throwing it out to get the attack speed increase. Psionic Synergy, again, just to lower our trait cooldown. You could argue that this isn't necessary here, just because of these two talent, or this talent right here, and this one. But I still think it's there. It helps with your early game sustain as well. So I personally prefer it not needed, or not necessarily needed, but you're not super tanky until late game, so it does kind of help. Purifier Beam. His other ultimate is really strong against auto attackers, but this one, like I said, I picked it just because it does tons of damage. Like at level 1, right there, you can see 80 damage every second for 8 seconds. If they take the full duration of it, that's 640 damage at level 1. That is a lot of damage. Synergizes very well with stuff like Octo Grab, or anything that can slow. Stitch's Bile is really good with it as well. But yeah, I picked it pretty much just because I thought it would synergize really well with the Leoric slow, the Zeratul slow, and the Falstad slow. Triple Strike, a must here. This build will not work without this, just because once this is increased to 6 seconds, pretty much you're only ever waiting 2 seconds for your trait to come back up, as long as you're able to attack something. If you're getting kited, you're going to be in trouble. But Triple Strike, a large majority of your damage comes from this, and your sustain comes from this, so definitely a must-use talent, in my opinion. This is purely to survive burst damage. With the enemy team, didn't really need to go this, but I still like it. I'm used to it with my playstyle. Very good at tanking mages, at tanking auto attackers. Kerrigan's another one that I can think of. Very strong talent when you're going up against a lot of burst damage. And this one, the bread and butter of the entire thing. This is a must, in my opinion. Yeah, lots of people like to say pentakill with the purifier, but this is better in my opinion, because very rarely are you going to get a ton of resets from Purifier Beam. And even then, if you are getting the resets, it's not just because of the Purifier Beam. It's because people are killing them. And if your team's already able to kill them, there's no need for the pentakill. And the other upgraded ultimate, 4-second blind, is huge, don't get me wrong. But because there's a 10-second cooldown in between uses, it's not viable, just because people are going to be able to pretty much, the team fight's over by the time 10 seconds is lapsed, in my opinion. But not always, so it can have some play, but this still 10 times better. I don't think you can ever go wrong with this talent right here. But that wraps it up, guys. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. If you did, like, subscribe, and if there's any certain champion that you want to see, let me know, and I'll try to make it happen. And yeah, see you guys in the next one.